Welcome to the world's first straight talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
Well, it's very good, crazily busy, which,
What?
You would think, I know. People are super excited about going solar, which is great.
It's the last week of December.
Yes, and we had people contact. Yeah, gigantic commercial project reaching out to us on Christmas Day. So it's fascinating. Yeah, but
wow,
it is interesting for sure because 2024 is a really goofball year because we had so many solar bankruptcies. So lots of solar companies went out of business for so many different reasons, but the main one was a drop in demand because of the net energy metering 3.0. And so I would say, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 of the companies that are still in business, one big one that is still out there, that is still kind of doing things the same old way. And so they might be in trouble in 2025. We're expecting some announcements. But in any event, most of the smaller companies that are around now that survived the NEM 3.0 are kind of doing a good job. And the ones that I'm seeing out there have really good reviews, which is really refreshing to see. And, taking care of the customers. And these are people who've had their systems for a while and they need help with something. And the solar companies are actually doing something and helping them out, which instead of ignoring them, which is kind of how it was before. And so that's really good because then we're kind of filtering down to companies that can exist and thrive in this new NEM 3.0 environment. And two really big things that I think are going to happen in 2025. Number one, I have a belief that interest rates are going to come down a little bit. And so right now, if somebody wants to go solar with a zero fee loan, meaning that it's not a 2.99%, 50 point or 30 point loan. And that means, if you have a $30,000 system, you're actually borrowing, $45,000 to get a 2.99% interest rate, which is crazy, but people do it all the time. And so anyway, I think interest rates are in the 6 to 7%. And I think by this time next year, we'll be in the 5 to 6%. So that'll help a lot. Mm-hmm. The other really big thing is, during the campaign season and even before, new president-elect was saying the Inflation Reduction Act is the biggest joke in terms of reducing inflation in the history of the country. And his first act will be to fully repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. And as we're kind of shaping what the opinions are, I guess not everything's going to get repealed. And one of the biggest things that is going to continue is solar and wind, because is this industry that's been created, hundreds of thousands of jobs across the country. And so to just slice that part of the economy out is not making a lot of people in those states that supported the president. So very happy. And so they are pushing back and saying, hey, there's another side to this. So let's target the changes that need to be made, but with keeping in mind that we have there's some really good things that are happening. So that's going to be really good for solar. Keeping the 30% tax credit for solar and for battery storage, and then solar add-ons and battery add-ons is just going to be really fantastic for solar. because on the other side, the stick side, electricity rates are going to go out of control. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're in a heated area of California, or not a heated area, but use a lot of power, either for heating or for cooling, you're going to be in for some really big electricity bills. And so, and you don't have solar, of course. So, and if you do have solar, it's probably a good time to start looking. Do you need more solar? And if that's the case, look at your roof. Do you have any more south-facing roof space? Probably not.
Nope.
So, how's your west? How's your east? And even the north side is going to be beneficial. And so, if you're already maxing out what your solar is producing, and you're exceeding that, and if you're in PG&E territory, if you're in the $2,000 or more for your annual true up, it's going to make a lot more sense, because that bill is probably going to go, $3,500 this year, which is just, it's just, it's staggering. And, like you've mentioned before, Adam, solar is one of the only things you can do to hedge against future electricity price increases, and see how, everything in California especially is going out of control. And there's going to be a new minimum wage increase starting January 1st, and that's going to fully ratchet up things even more expensive. So, if electricity is going to keep getting more expensive, which it definitely will, solar is one way. Even if it takes 5 years, 6 years, 7 years to pay for itself, at least there's a finish line. And the solar panels are still warranty for 25, and a lot of them are 30 years now. And so it's really great. The industry is putting a lot of money into research and development, which is also really great. And so, yeah, I think solar is going to keep on going. And we're very excited about lots of different innovations that are happening, and definitely excited about the future, which is much better than we were at this time last year. So, last year was pretty grim, but we made it through. We did it, and we'll keep on doing it. And lots of commercial solar, tons and tons of commercial solar in 2025. And so, and with fewer and fewer solar companies to support these big projects. Real quick story: we worked on one project earlier this year, and they had us all 7 or 8 solar companies come out to bid on this project. And it was so complicated, so difficult. It was so many areas of uncertainty that we dropped out. We just said, it's good luck, and good luck to the company that wins this gigantic project, and local. So it was pretty close to us. And just this week, one of the big ones, they came back and said, every company has dropped out. If we fix a lot of this, do you want to rebid or, submit a bid for this project? And
wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It is interesting where, is it probably, I don't know, let's just call it a, $30 million project, and every company just said, no, thanks. So that's interesting. In the past, it would have been, $30 million project. Someone did it for, $22 million, and they're out of business because they lost $8 million, that kind of thing. So very interesting, very interesting.
So those companies have all learned their lesson. That's why they're left
a lot of
business.
Exactly. Yeah. Being able to say no is really important when you just can't do it for $18 million, a $30 million project for $18 million. It's $18 million is still a ton of money, but not if you lose $8 billion or $9 million or $10 million. So I can't even imagine.
Wow.
And that is really good, and it gave this customer an honest assessment of where they were in the market. And so maybe instead of $30 million project, it's going to be a $32.5 million project. And, they also know that starting January 1st, wages are going up again. So
it's not getting any cheaper.
No, it's
all this stuff
not going to get any cheaper. Nothing is going to get any cheaper. So very fascinating, all the things that are happening. Thankfully, the only interference we're getting from PG&E is, of course, of taking their sweet time approving projects, but also they're not offering any new craziness like prevailing wage on projects over 10 panels or something like that. So we'll see if that one even stays. Right now, there's a rule in place that if you have a 15 kilowatt solar project, so that's about 24 solar panels or more on a commercial property, that is now subject to prevailing wage, which means it's about double the cost. So you have to pay like you're paying a union. So
Yeah.
it's goofy. But now, we've figured out some ways around it that make a lot of sense. And so solar is still going to, which is you have to, you just can't got to figure out a way that it's to work within the rules. And it's going to be pretty good. So very good. All looking good
Wow.
for 2025. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. We're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your week to learn a little bit more about solar. Jamie has been doing this podcast for going on 8 years now. So this has become the premier resource for anyone considering going solar. So we thank you for taking time to be with us. If you would be so kind as to write us a 5-star review, wherever you got this podcast, we would very much appreciate it. It does help, and it does, give us a good feeling. If you have a question for Jamie for an upcoming episode, you can go to our Facebook page, Straight Talk Solarcast. If you'd like to visit a library of our past episodes, go to solarharmonics.com, click on the podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to that library. Until next time, everyone, we'll see you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.